If you're kind of tired of seeing all these macro pictures on Weekly 50 lately, here you go. This is a decidedly non-macro picture, and I did not plan this at all. It just sort of, I don't know, it sounds silly to say it came to me, but it didn't. It just sort of occurred to me as I was walking past a parking garage on campus that it might make for an interesting picture. I like these starburst type of pictures where you're looking up at something, whether it's a tree or a structure or something else, a flagpole, and you can see the sun peeking out from one corner of it, and you have these star patterns or the starburst pattern from the sun. It's a fun type of picture to take, and I haven't taken one in a while, so I thought I might as well give it a shot. I had a couple considerations as I was going for this picture. One was what aperture to shoot at, which is always a consideration, and I shoot mostly in aperture priority now that I have gone full on into auto ISO mode. I can't even remember the last time I manually changed the ISO on my camera. And because of that, I almost always shoot in aperture priority. So I needed to pick out which aperture I should shoot at. And really that just has to do with how many star trails or starburst beams I wanted to see. If you go too small of an aperture, like f20, then you'll get a ton of starburst beams, and it just looks weird. But too small, and you won't get very many. So I picked an aperture of, I think, f13. I should go back and look at the EXIF data on this, but I think it was f13. And I had to position myself in such a way so that I was between, or the building, the parking garage was between me and the sun, and the sun was on one particular side of it. So I think I only took about 5 pictures at a couple different apertures, and I was kind of looking for one where you could see the prominence of the building as well as the sky itself. And normally this type of picture, you can't really see much of the sky because if there's not a lot of clouds, then the sky is way overexposed because you're looking right at the sun. So instead of a nice blue sky, you just get a totally white sky. But here, because it was a cloudy day, I could get some of the sky in there too. Initially, on the unedited file, you can't see much, but thanks to the magic of RAW, you can pull a lot of that data down. And thankfully, it had not been clipped at all, so all that highlight data was still available. So I pulled it down in Lightroom, got a lot of the blue color back, and I like what the result is. There's not like a big statement here. It doesn't mean a whole lot. It's just me revisiting something that I like to do, which is take these type of star pattern or star, I don't even know what you call it, starburst pictures. I cleaned it up a little bit in Lightroom. There was some spots on the concrete that I removed with just a spot healing brush. And I don't honestly remember what I did with the colors other than I pulled down some of the highlights to get the blue sky back in. But I kind of like the gray-blue palette here. There's not a lot of colors other than the blue. The building is kind of monochromatic, and I kind of like it. I don't really take pictures like this where there's not much color going on, but something about it kind of stands out to me, and I'm not exactly sure why. So anyway, to me, this was kind of an interesting way to revisit a classic type of picture that I like to take. If you've never tried a picture like this, go for it. Set your camera in aperture priority, put it at something like f11, f13, and look up at the sun, but not directly at the sun. Look up at a building or something, and then position yourself so that the sun is just poking out to the side, and try it and see what happens. You might be pleased or surprised with the results.